Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. A new chapter for Dragonflight is almost upon us, with the patch 10.1 just recently going live for testing on the PTR. This major content update features a brand new zone as we venture underground below the Dragon Isles. This update also brings with it a brand new raid, a new PvP season, a new set of Mythic Plus seasonal dungeons, and of course a ton of class changes, with certain handful of specs even receiving an entire revamp during the development period of the patch 10.1. In today's video, I wanted to highlight some of the newest class changes planned for the next major content update. But right before that, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future Dragonflight builds. The first class seeing a bit of a facelift is the Druid, starting with the DPS spec of Balance. Balance Druids are currently super reliant on the Vault of the Incarnates tier set, which substantially increases their overall performance. To help reduce that gear reliance, more power is being redirected back to the Druid while reducing some of the effective value of their tier set bonus. Druids gain a new talent of Wild Surges, which competes with Stellar Flare, increasing the crit chance and resource generation of filler spells like Wrath and Starfire. Most basic Druid abilities from Moonfire, Wrath, Sunfire, Starfire, Stellar Flare, and even the talent of Nature's Balance will now generate more astral power. The damage of Star Surge and Starfall is being increased by 20%, while the value of the current Season 1 tier set drops by about 15%. We also see buffs to many of their capstone talents, with the Radiant Moonlight increasing the effectiveness of both Fury of Elune as well as the Full Moon playstyle. Elune's Guidance makes astral power spenders a little bit cheaper to cast. Finally, Fairy Dragons summoned by Denizens of the Dream becomes 20% more effective, with the following friends of the Fairy talent further doubled in value. Up next, the Ferocious Feral Druid has sharpened their claws in the patch 10.01. But before we dive into the specific class changes, you will notice that building common points as a Feral Druid now has a new visual, as a Druid gets to claw their common points one by one. In fact, a lot of classes saw similar UI changes, with Rogues, Arcane Mages, Windwalker Monks, Warlocks, and Paladins all receiving new combat power animations, which is a nice little visual improvement. Feral Druid's main offensive ability of Berserk has been redesigned. While berserking, the Druid generates one common point every 1.5 seconds. Finisher moves restore up to 3 common points over the cap. Shred and Rake deal 50% more damage baseline. All common point generators will also now provide 1 additional common point during the cooldown. Altogether, Berserk starts to feel like a powerful ability and delivers a lot more impact than its previous iterations. Feral Druids also gain the new talent of Thrashing Claws, which sits on the same node as Merciless Claws. Shred's damage against bleeding targets is being increased, and both Shred and Swipe will also apply the Bleed of Thrash for free against the enemy target. The damage of Shred and Thrash is also being increased on top of it, and the talent of Relentless Predator's energy reduction gets pulled back a notch. Next, we have the Draconic class of Devastation Evoker. Patch 10.1 seeks to further clean up and improve the base feel and cohesion of the Devastation DPS rotation, while improving their AoE capabilities. The talent of Causality will now help reduce the cooldown of Fire Breath and Eternity Surge while channeling Disintegrate, which helps encourage finishing the channel rather than interrupting it. Feed the Flames now functions with the ability of Pyre, which helps reduce the cooldown of both of your empowerment abilities, gaining double value when consuming an Essence Burst proc. The talent of Imminent Destruction has been redesigned. Deep Breath will now weaken your foes against empowerment attacks and increases those abilities' damage by up to 40%. A new talent of Raging Inferno will increase the radius of Firestorm and cause Pyres to deal additional damage against all targets standing in the Firestorm. Then we have the class of Hunter. and in patch 10.1, some of the most underused hunter talents are receiving a bit more support in order to make them more viable for endgame content. For Beast Mastery Hunter, we're seeing changes to the talents of Aspect of the Wild and Call of the Wild. Aspect of the Wild will cause 2 bonus Cobra shots to strike nearby targets, up from 1, improving on its cleave capabilities. Master Handler cooldown reduction has been doubled in this build, and Snake's Bite's damage has been increased from 30% all the way to 75%. Call of the Wild can be further upgraded with the talent of Bloody Frenzy, which saw a bit of a rework. With Bloody Frenzy, Call of the Wild empowers all of your pets with Beast Cleave during its duration, which causes your pets to strike all nearby foes. Additionally, Cobra Shot will also apply Serpent Sting to any target hit during its duration. The Marksmanship Hunter's Legacy of the Windrunner build has yet to gain any relevancy, so it's been improved for the patch 10.1. Legacy will fire wind arrows at your foes with every aim shot, though at a much reduced damage value. The guaranteed wind arrows have a chance of empowering the hunter with random procs of True Shot, which could allow for a powerful proc-based build. The talent of Bombardment has been adjusted to work with Kill Shot instead of Arcane Shots, and in the Rhythm has also been added to the talent tree, competing in the same rapid-fire focus node. Finally, the spec of Survival saw a handful of changes so far, with the most impactful one coming to the talent of Lunge, which gains an additional effect. All auto attacks help reduce the cooldown of Wildfire Bomb by 1 second, which makes this talent more significant in increasing your overall damage output. Next, the Mistweaver Monk is receiving even more quality of life adjustments. One of the primary ways Mistweavers choose to heal in endgame content is through a fist weaving playstyle, where all melee kicks and strikes convert into a heal, which helps replenish your raid or party. The fist weaving healing isn't always smart, and sometimes struggles to heal the most injured member of your party. In patch 10.1, the fist weaving talent of Ancient Teachings is being redesigned. All melee hits will now heal your party more evenly, splitting the heal among all injured targets. And since healthy targets don't require any healing, this helps your heals focus on priority targets much easier. Then we have more quality of life improvements for the class of Shaman, primarily for the playstyle of melee enhancement. This build attempts to adjust a few spells in order to create more build viability. First, the physical damage build of Shaman has fallen behind as of recently, so we see new buffs to the Wind Fury weapon enhancement. Forceful Wind's damage, however, is being halved in order to compensate. When playing the Ascendance build, static accumulation has a chance of refunding the Maelstrom cost of Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightning, with Thorn's Invocation increasing the damage of lightning spells by an additional 20%. Lastly, Fire Nova is being changed to Flame Strike damage, which makes it do a portion of fire damage and physical to allow for better physical damage interactions. And finally, the playstyle of Shadow Priest is going through yet another revamp in the patch 10.1, with this update set to address the 4 main concerns of the Shadow Priest gameplay. The first is the button bloat. Shadow Priest is one of the handful of playstyles with a very busy DPS rotation. This update seeks to streamline that playstyle, with certain abilities like Mind Spike replacing Mind Flay as an example, instead of keeping the 2 abilities as a separate skill. 2. Mind Seer is being removed in this newest update as an experiment. A good portion of the Shadow Priest kit utilizes Psychic Link to cleave nearby foes, and Psychic Link so far has contributed a good portion to the overall AoE output. Mind Seer is one of the handful of abilities removed to help reduce button bloat, though it isn't gone permanently. This is just an experiment to see how that playstyle pans out. The third issue is that priests currently don't have much of a build distinction. This update attempts to create clear pathing to allow for a damage over time build, or a ghostly apparition build, or potentially even a instant cast crit based Mind Blast build, as well as supporting talents to help complete each playstyle. Then we have issue number 4. In PvP, Shadow Priest can be quite difficult to shut down because of the sheer amount of instant cast spells at their disposal, and the only way to counter them when it comes to balance is to reduce their damage output. With this recent 10.1 set of changes, priests are likely to gain back a lot more PvP power. And besides these specific changes, Shadow Priests see a greater emphasis of Devouring Plague, with new talents increasing its damage, reducing its resource costs, and increasing its cleave capabilities. The talent of Mastermind helps bolster an instant damage build, focused on Mind Blast and Mind Spikes, increasing the crit damage of either ability. This talent synergizes well with the new Mind Spike Insanity. After using Devouring Plague, your next Mind Seer or Mind Spike will deal bonus additional Shadow Frost damage, and this passive can accumulate up to 2 charges. The talent of Screams of the Void will help increase the value of damage over time focused gameplay, where chaining multiple plagues can now increase the value of Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Death. And for now, that's going to be the full list of class changes available for testing so far in the patch 10.1 PTR. However, I doubt that this is the full and the final list of available class updates. While the revamp to Shadow Priest is going to be the focus of 10.1, we are likely to continue seeing even more class improvements. So I want to pass it off to you guys in the comments down below. What other class changes would you like to see out of patch 10.1? Are there any playstyles that are currently struggling right now that you hope get maybe a little bit of a facelift or improvements come patch 10.1? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.